All right. I am with Logan Massengale out of Nashville, Tennessee with eXp. Hey, Logan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I feel like every time we get on the phone, it's always like longer than we thought it was going to be, but it's all good stuff.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I mean, a lot of times when we speak, I have literally just hung up a phone call and then
Uh-huh.
you catch me at the perfect time to where
Nice.
in between putting out fires or something, it seems like.
Perfect. So I do want to talk to this video is about why you chose eXp, but I think,
Good.
in knowing you, I think we have to start kind of at the beginning. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
A little
right.
bit of a story. A little bit of a story.
So people need to buckle up. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So you moved to Nashville in 2017 and you enter into real estate. What were you doing?
Yeah, so I have, I'm a unicorn, as they say, because I'm from Tennessee, but I'm originally from Franklin.
Mhm.
Went out and I was playing football at the time and then joined the Army. And then as I was transitioning out, a great mentor of mine, Chris Garrett,
Mhm.
he's like a big time realtor out here. He's a top producer. Chris, I told you I'd say this, so it's time for you to acknowledge it. So he was just kind of talking to me about
We'll
like,
tag him.
look, yes, please do, because he's super humble and he hates talking about it. But
Mhm.
like he always wants to showcase his new cars to me. So Chris, this is payback. Now everybody knows how successful you are. So he was talking to me about like, Logan, you need to get into this for your personality. And I was like, man, like that sounds great, but it's the 100% commission
Right.
that like I would lose sleep over. Cause like I feel like for the majority of the population, everybody wants a safety net. But
Mhm.
like all these people will tell you a safety net's never going to get you to where you want to be. So
Right.
one day I was working a corporate job for Dell with their headquarters out of Nashville. And I was transitioning out because our organization was kind of going down. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this leap and I'm going to do it. So I
Do it.
started November 1st, 2017, started doing that out of downtown Nashville, and then had an opportunity present itself about 4 or 5 months later where I
Mhm.
was actually contacted by an apartment complex that I used to live at.
Mhm.
And they're like, hey, we've got this traveling team and we remember you from when you were here, which I'll be honest with you, I don't know if that's a great thing because like I would always get in trouble with the pool and stuff. So
For being loud.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely one way to put it.
Mhm.
So they were like, hey, I think with what your personality is, it would really go in line with what we're trying to do. Plus, with the military, I was used to traveling already.
Mhm.
So what they hired me to do was they would send me out to all of their new developments across the country, mainly on the East Coast and then Texas. And
Okay.
you'd have 30 days to sell a certain amount, whether it was condos or apartments or whatever it was. So it was a very high
That's
intensity.
pretty neat, though. That does fit your personality.
Uh, I tell you what, though, it'll drive you to drink, though. Because, like, when you've got 30 days to sell about 25 units, you're just like, oh,
You're like,
God, like, here we go.
yeah.
Yeah. So that really broke me in well because then when I come back, I was with them for about, I think, 8 months because I came back to Tennessee, I think it was like October of 2018,
Hmm.
and then dove right back into real estate here full time. It was a lot easier transition going from that to here,
Yeah.
traditional real estate, because there's not near the pressure,
No, that's
except for
how
what you
it
put on
was
yourself.
like when I got into real estate because I used to do cold call commission sales for career
Oh,
builder.
God.
And
Yeah.
I was like, man, real estate's easy. Like, it's so
It's
much
a hobby,
easier.
right?
I was like,
Oh,
this is
God.
awesome. But yeah, it's definitely easier to go from like super high pressure to like this pressure than the other way around. Okay.
Right, right.
So
So,
you get
I
back.
came in and I joined a team straight out the gate,
Uh-huh.
and they taught me a lot of great things. But then I also learned a lot of things that I didn't want to carry over, which, that's how it is in anything, like
Okay.
any great sales coach or whatever. Everybody has things that you can take away and then customize to where it fits you,
Yeah,
because like
that's
with
like the
success,
entire point of our podcast. It's like
yeah,
not there's 1,000 ways to do things to get you what you want.
yeah, and I mean, I have my own selling system, and it's called the Mass Effect selling system. So it's one of those things, though, like, but it's not one size fits all. Because my personality, which a lot of people that know me will tell you, it's a good thing that not a lot of people have my personality because I'm so over the top all the time. Like I'm on my first cup of coffee, but I promise you, the people that talked to me this morning swore I already drank a pot. But it's just I always want to be going.
Yeah.
So with this industry, it just really helps to constantly be doing your research on how to sharpen your skills,
Mhm.
because you may be great, but like to go from that level of greatness and constantly scale out, because that's something that me and the people of my team that I never wanted to grow complacent. You know, the military always taught you complacency equals death. I
Yeah.
believe the same thing about our career. Like,
Yeah.
it's the agents that grow complacent. Hey, I had a great month, had a few closings. Now I'm just going to take time off. Why?
Right.
Why would you do that though? Like, I've
Right.
got very expensive taste. I want a yacht. You know what I'm saying? What will I do
How
with the yacht? I
big?
don't know. I mean, let's see. I'm 6'8", so it's got to be at least big enough for a 6'8" guy to sleep there.
Right.
But I'm open. Like, I don't want to put a cap on anything. Like, I just want to go, because like when I set out and I went to become a full-time agent, because, you know, as the progression went from that team, that I went to a brokerage that was 100% commission, but you had no support. You know what I'm saying? It was literally just you. So as a newer agent, it was a nightmare. But from there, I went to Simply Home, and Simply Home just offers a ton of tools. And all this ties back into scaling out your goals, because with my team, first thing I'll ever do, and we'll dive into this later, is I have you create a vision board.
Yeah.
Because you can have all the dreams you want to in the world, but when it transitions from a dream to a goal is when you put it on paper and you make a roadmap. Just like anything else. Like, I get in my car, I'm like, hey, I want to go to, let's just say, Disney World.
Yeah.
Well, without a GPS, I'm just going to start driving. I may end up there, I may not.
Right. I mean, hopefully you go south, but even so,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you
still
right
might
now,
not end up there.
100%. I'm no Sacagawea. Like, I get lost every day in my own backyard. So I'm just like, oh, wow.
Nice.
So here we go. But yeah, as far as how big I want to go, like, I'm very open-minded, because the thing is, you know, people want to call me lucky and stuff like that, and I'm not. You know, back in the military, you know, being the sniper section, like, sometimes they say it's better to be lucky than good. But in real estate, I think they go hand in hand. The harder you work, the luckier you become.
But that's like what a lot of people say is the definition of luck. It's like hard work plus opportunity, you know?
Yeah. No, 100%. And I mean, because like, you can have all these opportunities like you talked about, but if you don't show up at the showdown in those moments, it doesn't matter. The opportunities will stop presenting themselves.
So you came over to, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
You had come over to eXp, just like, it's only been a few weeks-ish, a month, something like that.
Yeah, maybe a month. Yeah.
So because you were pretty, like, I would call it repelled by eXp at first.
That is one way to put that. Yes, it's a very politically correct way. Oh gosh. Honestly, the movement that they've made, like with the changing of directions, because as everyone knows, before this, it was this super annoying, like, let me recruit, let me recruit, let me recruit. And like, literally, I would just keep getting phone calls, like, because the truth is, if you sell more than one house a year, like, they're going to reach out to you and be like, oh, let me get my residual. Like, I want to help you. And I'm just like, no, you don't. You just want me, you're downstream. Sure. So I hated it. Yeah. Right. But they weren't willing to offer assets or anything like that. So now, a couple of months ago, you know, these big time investors associated with particularly Grant Cardone, because like, he's the big time name, have come in. They bought out a huge chunk of eXp, and now they're transforming it from this just like kind of freestyle brokerage to where now it's becoming an elite brokerage, to where they're offering assets that nobody else has to offer. Like, you've got access to, you know, the 10x selling system. You got a young man up in Canada, Brad Vandenwall, who is a killer on the phone, and his personality, like, he surpasses me. I'll say that for sure. Like, when we were on the phone the first time, I was just like, God, like, wow. I look like I'm chill, like basically a mute. So we have a ton of fun. We talk about hanging out sometime, and I'm just like, hey, I got to prep for that. Like, I got to prep for my trip to Canada, because we'll make the news or something. So when you have these people that perform at such high levels, it kind of opens your eyes. So when we were approached about, hey, this is the shift that eXp is making, we sat down with these people, which is the biggest thing, because when you go to these brokerages, and the experience that I've had in the past is, they sit there and they always want to hit you with this line, I'm going to bless you, I'm going to help you. And then the moment you come over, it's just like, and they're gone, and you never hear from them again. Yeah. Right.
But when you say we, it's you and your partner, right?
Yeah.
Like business partner. Okay.
Yeah, me and my business partner, Robert Bean, he is the founder and sugar daddy of Heart and Home Partners.
I'm sure he loves that.
Oh, he loves me, because he knows I'm just all over the place. Like, he never really knows what to expect when I get on camera. So he came to me one day at Simply Home, which, again, I'm so thankful for Simply Home and the things that they did. So we walked into each other literally like this, and he's like, hey, man, I've been wanting to talk to you. And I was just kind of like, who are you? Because like, when I went back and did my research, he'd wished me happy birthday a couple of times on Facebook, and I was like, who is this guy? You know. So we crossed paths, and he's like, I want to talk to you because I've been kind of watching you, and I'd like to start a team, but I want to go into it with the right people, and I want to know what your thoughts are. So we sat down, we prayed about it, and I was like, hey man, listen, like let's do this, because I'd made a point to where I said I'm successful according to people, but I want to be successful in my eyes, like, and I want to scale out. So I was like, here's what we want to do. And because like with real estate, the people that really crush it are consistent, you know, like they don't go months without closing. So we had that meeting, and it was like, hey, listen, this is what we want to do. Now let's go out and then let's find like-minded people. And then if they're aligning with what we're trying to do, then cool. Because we don't recruit. Like that's the biggest difference for us. So we built this team, and I said, hey man, initially I was like, I want to be closing 1 to 2 deals every single month consistently, because the average agent I think closes 5 to 6 a year.
Yeah.
But I didn't want that. When I set out at the beginning of this year, I think it was back in December when we found the team, I said, I want to do maybe like 24 transactions or something like that. And then it was just like, then, you know, that was in January. I did 1 to 2 in January. Then February came, I did 1 to 2. And then March hit and I did 7. And I was just like, wait we're catching on to something here. Yeah. Then I've been blessed to do, I think 7 or 8, you know, this month already. And like, that's not a testament to me, because I'm just a pawn in the game. You know, I'm just a guy that follows the system. So with everything we're scaling out now, like eXp really fits into that, because they help me continue to scale out. You know, it's like the old saying, like never be the smartest person in the room, because then you're in the wrong room. That is where eXp is at now, because they're bringing in all these people like YouTube influencers and anything that you want to do to help scale out your real estate business, you now have access to. So one of the biggest,
that's how I feel about it too. And like, I was actually just thinking that today. I was like, I am like a small fish in a big pond here, because like so many top teams are coming into, they have so much, like you're saying, so much to offer. Okay. Because you were also saying like, so when you talk about scaling up, like what is the new vision now? What do you mean?
So for me, you know, from an individual standpoint, I don't want to do anything less than 10 transactions a month. And this isn't me, again, this is not me boasting about me, because I never want to be one of those agents that's just like, you know, in the words of Prince, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to celebrate me and my ego. Like, I don't want to be that. Like, those people can get out of here and go play in traffic.
Well, you know,
for me,
Mike Ferry, he's a real estate coach. He always said you can have money or you can have ego.
Facts. I mean, that is huge, because with your ego, like, what is it? They would say the pride comes before the fall. So, you know, with that, like, this is it. So now for me, I've got my personal goal of doing no less than 10 transactions a month. And we're steps in place, because now I get to scale out because of eXp. I fly to Raleigh, North Carolina, to meet with some people out there, because I'm getting licensed there next month to bring into my team. And then I fly to Savannah, Georgia, May 3rd. And then from there, I go to Charleston, South Carolina. And then from there, I go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I'm meeting with these agents to talk about my personal vision, and then the vision we have for Heart and Home Partners. So what we went from, you know, somebody, Robert and I, we went from thinking, hey, let's have a small team, and then like, let's just drown them with leads, because Robert is so brilliant. This is why I partnered with him. One, because he's just such a pure soul and genuinely loves people. But he has this vision of where he can go in and develop systems of lead generation and like different marketing things that, like, I love marketing, I really do, but I'm not gifted like that. That's not mine. Like, I love talking to people.
You like talking.
I love, yeah, huge thing. Like, right. So with him, he went in and developed this system. And within the first month of us having this lead generation, I had 3 deals under contract just from those. Right. And again, I'm not like this god of an agent or whatever. Like, I just literally follow a system.
Right.
So if we can do that, because then it went to, within 3 months, I was like, hey, we got to shut this off for me, because like, I can't handle this. Like, I've got an assistant, I've got a virtual assistant, but like, I'm still having a hard time balancing it all. So the vision is now to go from that small team to where we're on pace to be screening 40 agents per month. We don't recruit. We don't never want to be about that life, because that's how you run everybody off. So it's just people. And even people that watch this, like, if you are one of those people that's like, man, I'm just really struggling with scaling up my career. What I mean by that is, like, you've got this massive vision of here's where I'm at, here's where I want to be, and I need somebody to help me bridge that, because I would be willing to bet that 99% of the agents, and especially new agents, where they struggle is a database. They're brand new to the industry. And with as many people, I think for Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville, there's like for every one house, there's like 3 or 4 agents.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows an agent. So how
Yeah.
do you come into this
Sounds like
game?
everybody knows 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So it's just like when you come in, unless you already have this list of clientele, what do? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like door knocking isn't as effective as what it used to be because there's so many people with social media. So this is where we really want to help is help you build that database so that way you can get the closings. Because with eXp, and especially the new partnerships they've made with like Op City and things like that, which Op City is probably the hands down the best lead generation I've seen outside of our custom one.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they send you something, again, this isn't a paid advertisement, like this is me actually talking about it. When they send me leads, I have to be quick with it.
Yeah.
But that person's on the phone, they're already pre-approved, they have a budget in mind,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a location, if not a house that they want. So it's literally, you just have to be competent, you know what I'm saying?
And even though you're like paying the referral fee to them or whatever on that transaction,
after closing,
you can build a relationship with that person and get into a relationship with their friends and their sphere, and then do other deals with them and their friends in their sphere, and you're not paying like money on that again, you know?
Right, because right. And then that's, with that, I want to speak to that because we have with our Heart and Home partners, we have a system there too. So with Op City, the thing I love, because like we've had people reach out that want to do partnerships and I don't pay for leads. And what I mean by that's not because I'm too good. It's like I've been burned so many times by different organizations, even like a organization that wanted to partner with like realtors and military bases, like getting burned there. Like they make you pay on the front end, but then you don't get the return. Anybody that makes you pay on the front end 99% of the time, you ain't gonna get nothing out of it.
Right.
And if you do, you're gonna have to pay. Like a buddy of mine pays $10,000 a month for leads.
Insane.
$10,000. I was like, bro, like number one, why? Yeah, because I mean, with us and the problem with eXp and talking about with team, the Heart and Home partners, we have a system in place that you pay afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for Op City, like you mentioned, when it closes, they deduct that out of your commission. Super easy. So it's not like that heartbreaking moment of like, oh, look at my beautiful commission and then watch it dwindle. No, the money that goes into your account, it's already done, right?
Yeah.
So, and then like you said, then, with those referrals, as long as you're with that, a great sales coach once said, every client should produce 5 to 7 referrals within the lifetime of it. As long as you're being a rock star person.
Oh yeah, easily. I was thinking like,
right?
oh, that's pretty bad. But yeah, a lifetime, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're dominating, like the clients that I knew that I really blessed before we even got to the closing table, are, hey, listen, like I told so and so about you. Here you go. I think my top referral source right now sent me 10 referrals within 6 months.
That's
and it's literally because like you never know how the impact in like the sphere that they have.
Right.
So the second lead gen that we have, which is what we custom made, and it's Robert. Like literally, I can't take credit for that. Him and an awesome guy named Christian Santiago, brilliant masterminds. Is when you close on a deal from our lead generation, right? The first deal you close, so say I close you from the system, the first time we close a deal, it's 50-50. But after we close that deal, you are now my client. And then from that point moving forward, it goes back to the traditional split that you have with eXp.
Nice.
Whereas some teams, actually majority of teams, it's 50-50 no matter what. Like I could close my mom, which I wouldn't close my mom because my mom's a top producer in Murfreesboro. Like she tried to say she's not, but I found out she did 40 transactions last year. Come on, Logan Massengale. So if I try to close her and I'm splitting 50-50, why in the world would I do that? That's dumb.
Right.
But that's the business model for some of these teams because they're greedy. With us, you close on the lead gen the first time, 50-50. From that point moving forward, it's if you're 80-20 or 70-30, whatever you decide. Or if you're a great agent, you're already past your cap. Well, you just made 100% off that.
Right. Boom. Well, I want to pull out something here. So like at the other brokerages that you were at, if you wanted to expand into Raleigh, into Savannah, would you have been able to?
Hypothetically, I would have been able to, but like I couldn't bring them onto the team, to where I could effectively bless them because they'd have to be at a different brokerage.
Right.
Because, Simply Home's scaling out. And again, I'm not speaking, like I have nothing but good things to say about them. But, and it's just like with any other broker, it takes time to scale out to all these multiple states.
Right.
But when I found out eXp is literally worldwide, and every time I say that, I keep thinking of Step Brothers was like prestige, worldwide, wide. So, now that they're
That's
worldwide,
such a funny movie.
right? Like the
Yeah.
song that they wrote, obviously I'm not gonna say it because I'm on camera, but like I trip out on that. Talking about boats, and I'll leave it at that. But when we came over, I found out that we're now in South Africa, and I was like, I would love to build a team out in South Africa because like I want to go over there and I want to show a lion who daddy is. Like I just want to punch it in the face, and I
Oh
literally want to get in
my
the car.
God.
Not really,
Don't do
not
that.
really, but that would be what a story that would be. And I want to ask you a question because it made
He's
me think
gonna
of
eat
this.
you. That lion will eat you.
Oh, there's a strong chance, but what a story that would be
I
for
was
when I
just
die.
in South Africa right before COVID hit.
Really?
Like if I would have stayed like another week, I probably would have been trapped there. One of my friends got stuck for
Oh
like
wow.
6 months.
I wouldn't mind being stuck in Dubai for 6 months. Let me tell you that right now. Like,
Well, in
think-
Dubai, I don't really think they really recognized COVID, but in Cape Town, South
exist.
Africa, they did. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know how it is. In Florida, like hardly existed in certain
I was
parts.
gonna say in the South, it ain't a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
But in other places, it definitely existed.
Yeah, and I will say, COVID, I had it. It is less than ideal for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure it is.
But no,
Okay, so you came out. I think let's kind of like sum it up.
yeah.
So the question is why EXP?
Why EXP?
The story.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, to be quick with it because I can chase rabbits all day.
Yeah, we're
So
doing your
EXP,
like 1 to 2 minute thing here.
my elevator pitch.
Yeah.
So EXP is not the old EXP. It's not your mom's EXP. It's now this new generation of this like luxury image of this worldwide vision that the people that they want are people that aren't going to be your mediocre agents, if you will. Like EXP now is attracting the highest caliber of individual. That doesn't mean that you're a top producer currently, but it means that you want to be there. Because that's what I want for my team. I want for people that are hungry. That's what EXP wants now, is because they're dumping millions of dollars into training and development and marketing and whatever else you could want.
Right.
They just need people to come in that are like, yes, that's what I want. So the reason I'm at EXP is because I was tired of where I was at. I want to go worldwide. Like I want to be, not for like just my ego, but like to have this reach and this impact. I want to be one of the most well-known agents in the world. Like I want to go to Dubai, and I eventually want to have a billboard. Like I was so honored to find out that I'll be on a billboard in Savannah, Georgia, May 3rd. Like that's awesome. But I want one everywhere. And EXP now allows that because they're the first brokerage, to my understanding, that is truly worldwide. Like I'm not talking about worldwide as in covering Texas, because Texas is its own world, it seems like.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm talking about everywhere in the world. So if you're looking to really go to that next level with development, with the training, with the marketing, with lead generation and database building, that is the direction EXP is going right now.
I like it. Now, if people have questions like for you, or if they have a referral for you, or maybe they are looking to get on a team or partner with, a team like yours where are you? Savannah, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee,
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay. And where? Florida?
Yeah, I think my first stop's going to be Fort Lauderdale, and I think that's probably going to be around June as of right now. I'll have to look at my travel schedule, but I believe so.
Okay. What is the best way to get hold of you?
Number one, connect with me on social media, Logan Massengale, Massengale. But if you want my personal information, you're more than happy to text me, 615-767-3146, or email me, logan@loganmassengale.com. And as long as I'm awake, I'm working. So, if there's anything I can do, even if you don't want to join my team, I want to be really clear, but if you're struggling with something, feel free to give me a call. I'll be more than happy to help.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on. Thanks, Logan. I can't wait to see your billboard.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. See ya.